I chose to make my research report about the religion in ancient Greece. In ancient Greece, the religion was polytheistic, meaning that there was more than one god, and oftentimes there were many. This was the earliest form of paganism, which means any religion other than Christianity, Judaism, or Islamism. There are many minor gods in ancient Greeks' religion, and according to them, gods controlled almost every aspect of their life. The gods were a very important part of Greek culture, shaping most of what they did. In fact, they centered most of what they did around worshiping gods and living a good enough life to earn a place in the afterlife they were sure awaited them. The Greeks believed that there were 12 main gods, and that they all resided at a place called Mount Olympus. On the next slides, I have listed all of the 12 main gods, along with who they are and what they control. Zeus was the main and most powerful god, and something I found interesting was that he drew lots with his brothers, Poseidon and Hades, to see who would control what major aspect of the world, and he won. Another interesting thing is that he actually had to trick Hera into marrying him, but still has many affairs. Poseidon, lord of the sea, was the second most powerful god according to the Greeks. He was married to Amphitrite, but an interesting fact is that he always went after Demeter. A story goes that Demeter wanted him to stop chasing her, so she asked him to create the most beautiful creature, and after some failed attempts, he ended up being the creator of horses. Hades is described as the most evil god, who is actually intent on more and more people dying so that his domain increases. According to some Greek legends, he is jealous of Zeus and Poseidon because he got the least powerful domain to control. Hera was unwillingly married to Zeus, and because of this, she often tries to thwart his plans. She is the protector of marriage and will often look after married women. One interesting thing about Hera is that she actually convinced the other 10 gods to plan a revolt against Zeus. It failed, and instead of being tormented by Zeus, she chose to never plan a rebellion against him again. Ares is the son of Zeus and Hera, but both of his parents hated him. He is the god of war and is often found in myths trying to trick people into starting a war. He is portrayed differently to many Greeks. Some think he is a bloodlusting warmonger, while others believe that he tries to invoke war but is too cowardly to fight. Athena is the favorite child of Zeus and is said to have popped out of his head with all the wisdom she needed. Athena and Poseidon are known by Greeks to have an ongoing battle because she created bridles to control horses. Apollo is the son of Zeus and Leto. Apollo is known for driving a chariot across the sky to pull the sun. Apollo is the god of music and is also known for playing a golden lyre. An interesting fact about him is that because he is the god of truth, he is unable to tell a lie. Aphrodite is the goddess of beauty, desire, and love. She is married to Hephaestus, but is known for having an affair with Ares. Aphrodite did not want to marry Hephaestus, but the only way she could continue living with the gods was if she did, so she married him. Hermes is known for being the fast messenger god. He is another child of one of Zeus's affairs. He invented many things, from musical ideas, instruments, to astronomy, to sports, and even the care of olive trees. He guides dead spirits to the underworld. Hestia is not a very well-known goddess because she does not play a part in any myths and is not said to have very much of a personality. Because she is the goddess of the hearth, in every ancient Greek town she had a public hearth sacred to her, where the fire was never allowed to go out. Artemis is the daughter of Zeus and Leto. She is the lady of the wild things, along with being a huntsman of the gods. She protects the young and is the goddess of chastity. All wild animals are her sign, especially deer. In some stories, she is roaming the wild around all kinds of wild animals with no problem and only looks like a teenage girl. Hephaestus is the son of Zeus and Hera, who was thrown off Mount Olympus as a child. A story goes that a kind sea nymph took him in, and when he showed such amazing qualities in blacksmithing, Zeus and Hera asked him back to Mount Olympus, giving him Aphrodite's hand in marriage to say they were sorry for breaking his leg and making him lame. In ancient Greece, every aspect of life was controlled by a god, so trying to list all the minor gods they worshipped would take a very long time. The Greeks participated in many ceremonies to please the gods. There were different twists on the religion all throughout Greece, but some concepts were universal to all who worshipped the Greek gods. Sacrificing animals at an altar was one of the most popular ways to worship the gods in ancient Greece. The best parts of the animal were burned in a fire for the gods, and the worshippers would eat what was left. Rites of passage were very important to the Greeks. One known rite of passage is called Amphidromia and was celebrated on the 5th or 7th day after a child was born. It was especially important to them if the child was a boy. Greek rituals were performed at altars. These altars were usually specified to one or a few gods. The Greeks would leave food, drink, and other precious items at the altar for the god. Pharmakos is a ritual where they kill a scapegoat, like a slave or an animal, and when they rid themselves of the scapegoat, any hardship would go with it. Oftentimes, the people were unified because of all the worship they did together for the gods, making it a better community. All the people had one common goal, no matter who they were or where they were from: please the gods. Greeks would often go out of the way to make the gods happy, and in their minds there was a reason to do so. They thought that if you did not please the gods, your life would be miserable. Whenever something bad happened to a person, they would often say that the person had done something to anger a god. To them, though, it was definitely worth it. Pleasing the gods could create great fortune and wealth for you and your family. Because of that, pleasing the gods was something strived for all throughout a person's life. Another role that gods played in ancient Greece was to help explain the way things were. Most of the time, these stories involved people going on quests sent from the gods. Sometimes, the main character of the story was a son or daughter of a human and a god, known as a demigod. Most of the time, these stories would explain things in nature. In ancient Greece, they didn't have a scientific explanation for things, so they came up with stories to explain it. There is a story about how humans got fire, why the seasons change, and there is even a story about why there are spiders. The generation before the gods was called the Titans. Most of them were destroyed, but Prometheus was not. The gods ordered him to create people, and he did, but he grew very fond of them. Prometheus stole Zeus's lightning bolt and gave people fire. He was punished eternally for disobeying Zeus. This story is supposed to show how people got fire. Persephone, the goddess of spring, was out in a meadow. Hades was also out around here, looking for the next people who would come to the underworld. Cupid hit Hades with an arrow, and the first person Hades saw was Persephone. He kidnapped her and brought her to the underworld. While she was there, she ate 6 pomegranate seeds. These 6 seeds signify the time she has to spend in the underworld, 6 months. The other 6 months she spends on Earth, creating summer and spring. A girl named Arachne was the best weaver and spinner around. She boasted that she was better than the goddess Athena, who was known to be a good weaver. Athena came down from Mount Olympus and was challenged to a competition. Athena wove a picture of the gods on Mount Olympus helping humans kindly, but Arachne drew a picture of them drinking and being unhelpful. Even though Arachne's weaving was better than Athena's, Athena got angry and turned her into a spider. Known as Greek mythology, all these different details explain the religion that the ancient Greeks worshipped. Compared to today's religion, this was radically different, but it is interesting to see what religion people had and how they worshipped back then. Thank you for listening to my report on the religions of ancient Greece. I really enjoyed learning all this new information, and I hope that you enjoyed it too.